So in short, we'll wait and see. And honestly, that's what I was speaking to last week when Deshaun Watson was introduced as Browns quarterback at the press conference, or even the week before that when he got traded and got a raise in the form of $230 million guaranteed, fully guaranteed, $80 million more than had ever been paid. Is that the delay in the discipline that many people think he should get, independent of what two grand juries have now said, independent of the fact that the civil suits are still going through the process, the litigation process. Like I said, a lot of the discomfort comes from the optics, the poor optics of him getting richer, but also the fact that he hasn't faced any kind of discipline. He didn't go on the commissioner's exempt list last year because he sat out the season in a dispute with the Texans. He was never going to play for them, so there was no need to put him on the commissioner's exempt list. And as you heard the commissioner say just now, there's no time frame. An independent arbitrator will determine if there's a violation, and if there's a violation, then the league will impose discipline. So who knows when that's going to happen. But what I want to talk to you about, Michael, unless you have anything on that, because I was going to stay on Deshaun Watson, but in a different subject.
Well, I'll just
subject.
I do, and I'll just add very quickly on it that living in Boston as long as I have, I know about, from a football perspective, I know about these two pillars: dynasties and discipline. Okay, like for the Patriots, this whole run,
you've gotten a crash course on them.
Yeah,
between Spygate and Deflategate, you know this process.
and not just Spygate and Deflategate. It's not just that. It's how the league responds. Like we joked about it the other day, and I can't remember the context, but I know we were joking. We were saying it's like your kids. When they see either their friends do something or their siblings do something that they feel like they haven't been able to do, they'll let you hear about it. Oh, wait a minute. Hey, why was Mason able to do that? And you told me a couple years ago, Dad, I couldn't do it. I'm sure like Savannah said some things like, why is Mason doing things that I can't do? And Mason is looking at Maya and saying, what's up? Yeah. Same thing with our kids. But NFL franchises are the same way. They are constantly watching one another to see how the guy that they employ, the commissioner, and we propped you out there, we put you out there, you go do the dirty stuff so we don't have to do it. So there's absolutely, I know Roger Goodell is being pushed and pulled behind the scenes. Like, wait a minute, man. You gonna let the Browns do this? You gonna let them give them a fully guaranteed contract, but then play some games with that first year so they can get away with, they can curry favor with their player and he won't take those big losses? It's like there's pressure. He's being pressured behind the scenes. No question about discipline, about the contract, about the fully guaranteed contract. There's a lot going on there that he knows he's got to be very careful with the way he crafts his language publicly because everybody is watching him.
But he can't deviate from the policy or precedent. Like their precedent has always been to let the legal process run its course.
Watch him. Watch him.
Watch him what? He can't. There's nothing he can do. So the last CBA put it in the arbitrator's hands to determine if there's a violation. Unlike the original personal conduct policy, where he just had widespread authority and unilaterally could determine if there's a violation and discipline when he was judge, jury, and executioner. He can't do that anymore.
He still has tremendous. He can't do that, but he still has tremendous power as a commissioner. Tremendous.
Over discipline.
Only
if a violation occurred. And they can't determine whether a violation occurred until they have all the information. And all the information has yet, to be acquired because the process is ongoing. So there's only so much that he could do. But you're right about other teams kind of like, looking to see how this is going to play. Because the thing that rubbed me the wrong way that I referenced earlier in the show about Steve Bisciotti, because now, at the owners' meetings at the Breakers, people are getting a chance to weigh in on this record contract. And people are getting a chance to stick their nose in other people's business, which affects their business, right? So Bisciotti said, I'm trying to answer that when I had a reaction to it. Asked about his reaction to the contract that the Browns gave Deshaun Watson. And it's like, damn, I wish they hadn't guaranteed the whole contract, Bisciotti said yesterday at the league meetings. I don't know that he should have been the first guy to get a fully guaranteed contract. To me, that's something that is groundbreaking, and it'll make negotiations harder with others. Well, let me do the second part first. That sounds like a you problem. Right. It'll make negotiations harder with others. Only people complaining about that are owners who want to minimize salaries as best they can or control salaries as best they can. So it'll make negotiations harder with others. I say good. I say good for Lamar Jackson. I say good for any other player coming after Deshaun Watson. This is good for players. Maybe poor optics, him getting richer in some people's eyes, but nonetheless, it's good for players. The higher salaries go, the more other guys get paid. So I say good.
That's right.
Because it ain't my money that's got to pay him. So, but as far as him weighing in on Deshaun Watson, the thing that rubbed me the wrong way, and I need your permission, Michael, can we, for purposes of this conversation, can we separate the 22 civil suits for sexual misconduct and sexual assault during massage therapy sessions from the football player? Just for, and I know there's really no separating because it is.
No, I think we should though, because that's what he's really talking about. He's talking about guaranteed contract. He's talking about money. So if he's talking about money, let's just talk about the money. Okay. Good.
Okay.
That's what he's talking about.
Well, but they're giving the money to the same guy. That's why it is kind of hard to. They're inextricable in something because he's giving the money to the same guy that's got the civil accusations. But okay. So he said, I don't know. He should have been the first to get a guaranteed contract. Well, who should have been the first? See, I say it's none of your business. I say mind your business. Because if you didn't have Lamar Jackson, I'm not convinced that Steve Bisciotti or anybody else that didn't have a quarterback wouldn't have done the same thing. So strictly from a talent acquisition standpoint, okay? Because you know me, I've always operated from a place of neutrality. So I'm not operating from a place of Deshaun Watson is guilty of what he's accused of. So therefore, he's fair game. I've tried to be fair, so he is fair game to be traded, he is fair game to be traded for, and he is fair game to be paid. Again, I know what the optics are, but if the Browns are in a position to try to acquire a franchise quarterback for the first time since they were reincarnated in 1999, him being the first to have a fully guaranteed 5-year contract, him getting $80 million more guaranteed than anybody else has gotten, is strictly a product of timing and talent. Because you and I both know, and you talked about this before when Aaron Rodgers got it. You was like, who's going to be next? Because it's really about timing, you know? And so the timing of it, Deshaun Watson was as close to a free agent as one can get without being a free agent because of his no trade clause.
He was.
And the only way that the Cleveland Browns were going to get him is by giving him in his contract. I don't care what nobody say. The money is what got him back to Cleveland. Cleveland was out. He was going to Atlanta. The money got him back to Cleveland. Okay?
The money got him back to Cleveland. And Cleveland did it.
Fully guaranteed.
And you know why Cleveland did it? You know why Cleveland did it? Because Cleveland had to. Cleveland had to. Now you can debate whether they should have, and that's a fair debate. But I'm talking about, hey, how do we get him? How do we get the player? How do we get the player the way they got the player? Because they had competition. And so competition, maybe somebody else had money that was equal or greater than Cleveland's, but not guaranteed. So Cleveland, okay, how do we top them?
Well,
we're going to guarantee it.
The Athletic article, I think it was Jason Lloyd, said that somebody called Deshaun's camp and was like, well, why didn't we get a chance to match? Because we would have. And apparently 13 teams initially showed interest. So it's real easy for Steve Bisciotti to say, as he's sitting there with Lamar Jackson, who hasn't hit him up for his contract yet, which we talked about earlier, oh, I don't know if he should have been the guy to get it. Well, who should have? Because deserve's got nothing to do with it. Deserve, that's a character commentary. I don't know that he should have been the guy to get it. The quarterback, a top 5 quarterback when he's playing, was available to your division rival. You got a quarterback. We ain't got a quarterback. So mine yearn. If I'm the Cleveland Browns, I would say, if I'm Jimmy and D Haslam, I'd say mine yearn, okay? Like how we solve our problem is our business. As for us in our house, let us deal with the poor optics of making him richer despite these civil allegations. Let us worry about the fallout from the commissioner. We did what we had to do to get in the same place that you are, which is have a dynamic quarterback to be in a position to compete. Because that's what it's all about now. It's about all of us trying to compete for the best quarterbacks to put us in position to win a Super Bowl. So deserves got nothing to do with it, is the headline here. Like, I don't know that he should have been the person to get it. Well, he was a free agent for the most part, dictating his next team, and that's what he. And you only get what you have the leverage to negotiate, what you have the leverage to command. Ain't no such thing as being overpaid. You're paid as much as somebody's willing to pay you.